Hello everyone, you're watching the Newcastle United Life and Tens YouTube channel. My name's Rob, and on today's show I'm joined by Paul, Len and Alan, and we're here to discuss the last 7 days with Newcastle United. So we'll start with that absolute shit show on Saturday night. My God, I think under Eddie Howe, that's probably the worst 45 minutes I've seen. There was no tackles, there was no effort, no commitment. In fact, the whole team looked like they were rabbits stuck in headlights. It was absolutely shocking. The only positive I can take out of the game was Joe Willock came on and got the goal for 184th minute. Apart from that, I think that's about it for me. Livramento started ahead of Burn. Saka, he dropped the shoulder and sent Livramento for a hot dog and a cappuccino, but that's another story, which I'm sure the lads will touch on. So, Paul, we'll start with you. Saturday night live on TNT Sports, away at the Emirates. What was your take, especially the first 45 minutes?
Well, normally I dissect the goals and everything, but I think if I did that, I'd be here till next Friday, Rob. Yep. Absolute shit show.
Yep.
Absolute shit. That first half was as bad as it gets. No tackles, no commitment, nothing. Would just look like the team had been through together. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I mean, teams like Arsenal have got to try and get in the face, make a couple of tackles, hit them early. It was a complete contrast to last year when it was like a shithousery game last year, wasn't it? When we were stopping the game every 2 minutes, playing at our pace. We seem to have lost that from our game at the minute. Just little niggly fouls and rubbing the opposition up. We've lost all that, haven't we? I know you've got big characters like Joe Linton. They've got to sort his contract out. He's just massive for us in that midfield. I think we've all realised how big it is when he's missing, especially against top teams. You need players like Joe Linton in there against top teams. We're so easy to play against at the minute. Coming through the midfield, obviously Isak's playing up front on his own, so he's not really closing down, is he? The midfield three still isn't working. Longstaff was dreadful. Mickey Almiron was fucking terrible. It was just a complete. I don't know. It's in Botman as well. I don't know what's happened. I heard Eddie Howe saying today. He mentioned his knee again. I think he might need an operation in the summer. Something not right with his knee. Yeah. He doesn't look the same player. That third goal when he got the ball away and even his own goal, it was just, I don't know. It was something's not right with him. Sometimes Fabian Shaw has one of them games where he doesn't look interested. I'm not going to blame Karius for any of the goals. I don't think he could have really done much, bar the last one when he flapped a little bit, but the ball was 2 yards from him. Two set pieces were conceded again. If Dan Burn had been in, would we have conceded them 2 goals? Who knows? They brought Livramento in. That didn't really work. It was just poor from start to finish. Like you say, Rob, the only plus point was Joe Willock. I thought he was brilliant. That little 15, 20-minute cameo just looked so refreshing. A midfielder running with a bit of energy.
Yeah.
I'm just watching the games now, and you're watching, like, Longstaff does a lot of running about with actually, like, trying to tackle. He just, like, sort of tries to close the space. I think Bruno's playing because he doesn't want to get booked. He's not tackling. So basically, you've got nobody tackling in that midfield because Miley's not a tackler. And then they're coming straight onto the defence, which has looked so vulnerable this season. How many shots are we conceding in games? It's frightening. How teams are just going through us so easily. It's just that it was so poor that first half. I mean, we had a go of it after the second half. If we had got the next goal, it might have been a little bit interesting, but there's a bit of it. Arsenal took their foot off the gas a bit. They had a game midweek. You know, we've been banging on about games played. We had a free week again to sort of get his team sorted, but he didn't. I don't know. We just don't look like the shape of it's not right. Top teams like Arsenal, you get punished. I mean, that first half, it looked like a training exercise. There was no tackling or nothing. And that just... it doesn't really happen under Eddie Howe, does it? Them kind of games. I know we get beaten games, but we've never really been as bad as that, where just nothing. No, there was no shots. Was that the first time in 10 years? No shots in the first half on or off target. Yeah. It was just really bad. And I think the positive is Joe Willock coming back. I know Anderson, Target are coming back, but now he'd be running out of excuses when they get these players back. We're going to have to start performing. Some of these players are going to have to look in the mirror and say, look, you know, we need to pull our finger out. Because that just wasn't... You can get beat off Arsenal, but it's the way you get beat.
The manner,
That, for me, that was just terrible.
It was an absolute horror show, there's no doubt about that. But it was nice to see Karius, like a keeper that, like, for me, he comes out of his box more for crosses than what...
he was playing more of a sweep. He was playing a bit more like Pope played, didn't he? His kicking was fine. I thought I couldn't really sort of fault him. I mean, the two games he's played, Man U and Arsenal, you know, it's two hardish games, isn't it? And he hadn't played a league game for 6 years or something.
Yeah. Okay, very good, Paul. We'll go to you, Len, next, because I'm sure Alan's itching it a bit there. So, what was your take on the game, Len?
Well, I've sort of pieced together what I've seen on Match of the Day, what little I've read. I haven't gone into great detail reading reviews about the match. Obviously, I was out on Saturday night and was just relying on goal updates coming through. So I saw it was 2-0 down. I thought, great, it's going to be 4-0. I should have put a bet on that. And then I was quite pleased to see we'd got a consolation, because when it was 4-0 down, obviously when you're not watching the match, you're assuming at that point it's going to be 5, 6 or 7. So when it ended up being 4-1, you know, I wasn't too despondent. I did expect really a damn good thrashing, which we did. I mean, looking at the stats, I think they had 18 chances, and I do believe if they could have been bothered, I think they scored 4 shitty goals, to be honest, from our point of view, because I think they were all defensive mistakes. I think we had the last touch on 3 of them, and you know, I think if they'd been more ruthless with some of the excellent chances they created, well, they could have been into double figures. But as you say, Paul, maybe they did take the foot off the gas in the second half, which then created us with 1 or 2 opportunities. But it's just pretty much what I expected. I didn't expect it to be that bad. And I listened to Eddie Howe's interview at lunchtime, and he says, you know, he sort of indicated, you know, it was a one-off in his time at Newcastle. He's never seen them play so bad. That's the way I read into it.
That way.
Oh, I know. Yeah, exactly. I just think even my father-in-law today, he listens to the matches, and he said it was like listening to a Steve Bruce game. You know, it was just one of those where we just didn't create a thing. I think in the end we did have 2 shots on target, of which we scored 1. The bright point, as you say, is that Willock came on, scored a great goal from an outstanding run from Dan Burn down the left. At least he showed a bit of passion when he came on, unlike, you know, 3 or 4 of them that were on the pitch. They didn't seem to be at it at all. What else? Karius. I think Karius, that was a positive as well, because I think we've got a keeper there that, you know, is very competent. And as you say, Paul, he's only had 2 chances, 2 first-team appearances, really, and this is his first appearance in the league. And what could he have really done? He was man of the match. You know, man of the match. He conceded 4 goals. How many would it have been if it wasn't for him?
Yeah,
without a doubt. I think, I mean, it's good to see Isak back. My big concern, I think, based on all that, is if you look at that squad and you look at the starting 11 and the 2 or 3 decent players that we had on the bench, we're not a million miles away from best 11. So, you know, fair enough, Pope's to come back. I understand that. He's a big miss. You've got your back 4 is your best back 4, regardless of who you play at left back or whatever. You've got your best players available. You've got your top striker on the pitch. You've got one of your top wingers starting. You've got Harvey Barnes on the bench, your other top winger. So we're only probably a Joe Linton away.
The midfield's the problem, Lennon, at the centre.
It is, and I think that was highlighted. At the Emirates on Saturday. The midfield is looking weaker than ever.
Yeah.
And it's meaning that it's putting massive pressure on what was a sound defence. Botman has gone completely and utterly off the boil. Tactically, you need to look at that, because when Lascelles came on, we looked a lot better. So I don't know what's going on there. So overall, it was what I expected. Didn't expect it to be that bad. And I'm just hoping that we'll get a result in the cup tomorrow night. Because if we don't, I think questions are going to have to start being asked of Eddie Howe's, I don't know, his tactics, really.
We'll come round to that shortly, Len. Just a quick one. I don't know about you guys, but I thought Botman's decision making was terrible. I think his head's gone. His head's
Well,
gone.
the third goal was his fault. He just passed it straight to midfield.
It was terrible. I thought, what's going on with him? Dear me.
He looks like he's lost a yard. I know he wasn't blessed with loads of pace, but he looks like he's lost a yard.
Okay, Alan, I know you're itching to go. By the way.
Right side. There you go. No. Well, it did take us back to the dark days of Steve Bruce, to be honest. Watching that game when half time, I watched the highlights before. I put myself through the highlights because like half time I just switched it off. Well, their highlights, to be honest.
Yeah.
Their highlights.
Yeah.
1 hours.
It wouldn't have took you long.
But yeah, you're right. 18 shots to 3, 8 on target for them, 2 on target for us. The possession was 55-45 to them. Them had 557 passes to our 462. Them had, when you're talking about niggly fouls, we're not doing them as much as anymore. Them had 15 fouls and we had 6 to 9 of their corners now, and we had 9. We just got undone. I think, yeah, okay, the first goal was unlucky. They hit the panic button, the ball just flapped. And, you know, you've seen Livermore kick the ball out, it hit Botman's knee and went in. You can't do much about it when they're flapping. But definitely the point of Carrius, by the way, I would give him another gun. I think he played for what he had to put up with. He played well. He made some good saves as well. So I think I definitely would give him a bit of a run now, because I think he's better than Gibraltar. Yeah, I agree. Botman is off the boil. You'd be looking at the cells, to be honest. He had a good run when Botman was injured, same as when Tino was in. And I did speak to Len this morning. You can slag off Tino, yes, okay, but it's like a marathon runner. If you get knocked off your stride, you're knocked off kilter. And he's not off kilter. You know why? He was in a rich run of form, and he got dropped to the bench. Now, he's been hiding against Arsenal, against Saka, who's a very informed player. He scored in his last 5 games for Arsenal. You know, he's a young lad still as well. So, but yeah, I give Dan Burn his due. It was a good cross for the goal. So,
can you just say that again, Alan? Just say that last bit again.
Dan Burn's cross for the goal was decent, but you know, you would expect that from a left back. We don't see it enough from Dan Burn, unfortunately. But we'll just leave that there. Just a quick question. It's in hindsight now. Would you went 5 at the back for this game?
I think bearing in mind what happened,
Owen
probably would have gone
in the chat. Owen says 5-3-2 before the chat. He would have went. Would you went like something similar?
I would have gone 10 at the back. Actually,
no. Because to me, it's no plan B. It's 4-3-3 now.
I would have called Eddie Howe today on his press conference. He said it's not the formation, it's the way that we played. They had like a game plan, but it's not the formation that's the problem. He says it's just the way they were orchestrated it. So I don't think he's going to change that formation anytime soon.
It doesn't change. Well, you have to change something soon because, like Len says,
Willock and Anderson are back on. Willock and Anderson will be getting more game time soon.
If it goes to Blackburn, there'll be questions asked.
Yeah, no, I think the thing as well, just talking about the formation at the back and the players he selected, I think unfortunately, I was sort of on the fence, with Livermore type thing. I think he does deserve to be in the starting lineup. There's no doubt about it. It was his big opportunity to stake his claim to stay in that team, and he blew it. Really, he had a dreadful game, and I think.
But we were up in the cush. I didn't think it was that bad, Len. We were up against it against Arsenal. It's a hard game.
Inform Arsenal. Like I said to some of the lads today, Arsenal, we were shit, but Arsenal made it look absolutely shit.
Oh, they were good. They were good.
This is a team in form. In a rich being a form, Arsenal don't get it wrong. You know what I mean?
Don't forget in the home game, Livermore, Martinelli and Saka never got a kick against them in the home match.
Exactly.
I
Because
just
he'd
think
had a run
maybe,
of games, hadn't he? He'd had a run of
I think
games before that.
I think maybe by leaving Dan Burn out, I think we lost something, you know, and it might not be, you know, the fancy touches and this, that, and the other.
Two set pieces, Len. 2 set pieces. I mean, would he might have got there, mightn't he?
That's what I think.
Them are the highest scores in the league from set pieces.
I think you just miss his height. Personally, I think you miss his height, and I think you miss the commitment and effort, which we've all often said is really important. You know, it's not the be all and end all, but I just think in a game like that, you know, I just.
So maybe he's 5, Len. Maybe he's a 5, might work.
Yeah. I think it might have done actually. I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking, would have done, and I'm not sure would have been beaten. And maybe Eddie does have to be a bit more flexible in certain matches. You know,
well, he's done it. He's done it in the past when we've had the lead, and he shuts the game. He goes 5 at the back.
Well, even Villa away, when Villa got the goal, didn't he? Then he went to 5 at the back and we looked a lot more solid. Remember when they got that second goal? It was offside, and he brought Livramento on. He's done it in was it Luton as well at home or something? He did it in another game, didn't he?
Alan, you just made a point there, right? Arsenal have scored they're the highest scoring team in the league from set pieces. So for me, you drop a bloke that's 6'7". Strange. There you go.
But then on the flip side, you're going to have Saka running rings around him.
But Saka's just ran rings around Livramento as well. So that's because Saka's really good.
But I think it would be 10 times as worse if it was Dan Burn.
Well, fair. So I mean, I would have started Dan Burn. I would have for that reason, for the aerial presence. But it's done. It's Eddie Howe. He knows a lot more than I do. He went with his formation, he went with his players, and it clearly did not work. So we'll move forward to tomorrow night, where we're away to Blackburn Rovers. Quarter kickoff live on BBC One. This game over the weekend has just got massive for us. Massive season. I think Blackburn Rovers will look at this game and think, hey, we could do it.
They've got any pressure.
So, how do you see this one going? We'll start with you, Paul.
Tomorrow, I think we'll absolutely batter them.
Yeah.
I think if you look on their forums, even they're not convinced. They've hardly sold any tickets. They've I think they're near the bottom, aren't they? They've just changed the manager. Apparently, he's quite a negative manager. I think we'll absolutely batter them tomorrow. I don't even know what kind of. They're saying he's got a few injuries and they don't know what side he's going to put out. Whereas I think we're going to put a full strength out. And I think there'll be a massive reaction.
Got to go full strength.
I think
this is the season, new man.
Oh no, I'm saying we'll go full strength.
I know. I'm saying you know what I mean.
We'll go full strength, and I think Willock will start. I think Lascelles will possibly come in. I don't think there'll be many more. I think Harvey, but I think Almiron's got it. I'd stretch Gordon to the right and get Barnes on the left. Get Almiron out the side. And I think he might probably bring Byrne back as well. And I've got a feeling he might actually bring Livramento on the right and drop rest Trippier possibly. He was feeling it a little bit at the end. I think in games like this, he might need his experience, but I think he might bring him in if Lascelles is back as well, and being the captain. But I think it's a foregone conclusion tomorrow night. I think there'll be a reaction, and I think it'll be 3 or 4-0. I think we're back.
It should be. I mean, I think certainly after Saturday night, if you can't go down to Ewood Park and be revved up and knowing that you're going to get through the next round of the FA Cup.
Well, the fans, 7,200 fans there, they wouldn't allow them not to be up for it.
Yeah.
I think we'll battle them anyway.
How do you see this one going tomorrow night, Alan?
I think we'll win. They've only won one of the last 13 games in the league. In the last one on Saturday was a 1-1 draw against Norwich.
Yeah, they're a poor side.
They've changed manager because it was John Dahl Thomason. Now it's John Eustace, who used to be at Birmingham City.
Well, that's what useless, isn't it? Sorry.
Well, there's no VAR.
You should be.
There's no VAR in this game, remember, boys, so there's no pissing about. So the referee's Jared Gillett or whatever he's called.
Oh, is that the one where is he South African or something?
he was the referee in the last round against Fulham, and when we got knocked out by Chelsea in the Carabao Cup. The last 4 cup games against Blackburn, 18-19 was round 3. We drew at home and won the replay 4-2 after extra time. Round 3, 11-12 season, 1-2-1 at home. 99-2000, round 5, 1 away, 2-1. It was round 3, I think, in 98-99. Drew at home 0-0, but won the replay away 1-0.
Was that Louis Sahar? I think
cup,
went to that one.
In the cup, we've done really well at Ewood Park, so I think we could absolutely get a great result there, and we'd need to get a great result to get the season back on track. So I'm going 4-0.
Would you start with Dan Burn, Alan?
I think in games like that, you get away with it, wouldn't you?
Well, they're a championship side.
So I take that as a yes.
So they're going to be physical and, putting high balls in. I would.
We're going to 5 at the back. But
okay,
yeah,
Alan.
So just remember, though, the quarter-final draw will be before the Liverpool game on ITV on Wednesday. And when we get through, the next round will be played on the 16th of March, which would postpone the Palace game we've got. If we get in the semis, that would postpone the Man United away game in April. Just to let you know that as well.
Oh, well, fingers crossed. Glenn, how do you see it going tomorrow?
Hey, well, I'm loving all this positivity. I'm just wondering whether I'm the doom monger for some reason on this one. I'm just not. I just think with the performance on Saturday and recent sort of results, I'm not as confident as what I should have been when the draw was made. I thought, oh, well, that's a winnable game. Well, it still is, obviously, and I think you're both right. It should be 3 or 4-0. There's no doubt about it. What do we know about Blackburn? Well, Paul, you're right. Just before we came on here with regards to tickets, I just happened to go on the Blackburn Rovers website as if I was buying a home ticket. And one of the main stands, which I'm assuming is like the equivalent of our East stand, is probably only 20% full at the minute. So it's 80% of tickets. So I reckon there'll be nearly as many. It's 32,000 capacity, I think. And I reckon there's going to be nearly as many Geordies down there as there is Blackburn fans. So I think, I just don't know why it hasn't captured the imagination. It's £20 a ticket.
It's on BBC as well, though, isn't it? So a lot of them will have that one. So
yeah, but I just couldn't believe how many empty seats. You know what problems we have getting tickets at St James's Park, and suddenly you can just go on then, click on and just choose your seat wherever you want to sit. So I don't think there's going to be. I think certainly the crowd is going to work in our favour rather than theirs. I think because we're going to be obviously our end's going to be completely full. What do we know about Blackburn? Well, we know they're not as good as the Mackhams. And look what we did to the Mackhams. So we could do exactly the same to Blackburn Rovers. I think it's a massive match. Rob, you said earlier, suddenly this match becomes massive. Alan, you said the same. If we don't qualify, if we don't get through tomorrow night, we're in deep danger of the season just fizzling away, and questions will be asked of Eddie Howe, because there comes a time when there might have to be, particularly with a lot of these injured players coming back now. And these players, as you said earlier, Paul, have to take a look at themselves. So I'm not as confident as you two lads. I think we'll win in normal time. We will concede a goal, obviously, because that's what we do. But I think we'll win 2-1.
2-1. Yeah, I'll go with that. 2-1. I'll go with that.
There's no replays in this one. There's no replay. So it has to be decided tomorrow.
Is there extra time though, or is it straight at penalties?
I think it could be extra time, but I just read that it has to be decided on the night. There's no replay.
I'm not sure. I know the semi-finals at Wembley, so even if we can get the semi-final, it's hopefully a nice weekend away in it. So
it's a funny one, isn't it, Rob? Because I've probably said this for so many years in a row now, but if we could win a cup this season, and I've said it on here numerous times, if we could just somehow win this cup. Or if we won the Carabao Cup last season, that is then the best. I don't care whether we finish 15th or 16th. It doesn't really matter. Just put everything into this cup competition, because that's all that really matters now. Because we're not going to finish top 6, so we've got to give everything to the cup, even if it means sacrificing matches like the Arsenal match on Saturday, which I hope part of the reason why we got bashed so badly was because the players have got this match on Tuesday night on their mind. I hope that's partly to do with it, and I hope they go and win, like you say, Paul, 3 or 4-0. I really hope they do.
I think the now Europe's gone, apart from the FA Cup, so silverware and Europe through that.
Well, Europe hasn't gone, Alan. The third 3 points off 7.
Champions League's gone.
Champions League, Alan, but not Europe.
We're not going to get the results, and his teams above are getting results.
You're one win away from being in the European spot. You can't say it's over.
I still think. I think
come on,
they've
son.
still got too much, Paul. To be honest with you, so I disagree
Well,
with you
actually,
on that
Paul,
point.
We have
you
a
might
lot
know.
easier fixture than everyone else because we've played the top 3 already, haven't we? So I haven't got.
I was just going to say, Paul, you'll know the fixtures off the top of your head, but I'm sure we've only got one of the big teams to play in the last 11 games.
There's only Tottenham, really. You've played Villa twice as well.
And get the FA Cup and get the FA Cup silverware. To be honest,
If Liverpool win the league because they won the Carabao Cup, does that not like open a slot up? Or am I just getting?
No, it must do. That's what I was thinking. I thought that yesterday myself.
But we'll see. We'll see how that pans out. Right. Okay. Now for a little bit fun and games. So you know how this works. You've been here before.
Get it. Owen's not sure. We've got a chance.
So we'll start with this one. I'm hoping, or just before I do start, I would just like to give a massive congratulations to this lot for getting to the final. Well done. Excellent. Super duper.
Yeah, well done.
Well done.
So, okay, here we go. Who is this?
God.
I've got it.
Paul says that every week. Oh, this is easy. Is this easy, this one, Paul?
I think I got it.
He's all got a name in your head?
The number 5's confusing me. Is he? He's not number 5. Hang on. He's number 57.
Wait there. That's 57, is it?
All right. Is it his finger?
No, it is a finger there. I think it is. I've got to be fooled. There'll be pierced through. Wait there, there's going to be one. Just 5 minutes.
Actually, he's got long sleeves on, so it's got to be a player who's just left us recently, I think. But the number's confusing me.
Right, I'm going to need a name because I'll start working 12 hours, so come on.
No, I've forgotten his name now, man. Paul, who's that kid?
I think it's like I was going to say Obertan, but I don't think it's him.
Right, Alan, we'll start with you. Give us a name, Alan. Again, pick yourself. But
I know it's not, but Fabian Shaw. There you go. It's not him, like, but I'll just give you a name. I haven't got a clue.
Paul, who you going for? Obertan? Gabriel Obertan.
Obertan.
Yeah. Len, who you going for?
Oh, well, I'm not going to even be right here. Paul, who's this kid who's used to play for Sunderland, who just got rid of fullback? Come on. Never put a foot wrong. We've just sold him in the last window. Fullback.
Where to?
Where's he gone to?
Manquillo.
Yes, I'm going Manquillo.
Manquillo, no, I think that shirt's too early for him, I think.
No, it's just with the long sleeves because he was a bit of a puff one.
Okay, so, right.
If I'm allowed to say that.
I'll put you out your misery.
Andy Carroll?
Anderson?
So is that a 7 under there? 57 it must be.
I'm very disappointed, but we'll go to the next one. I thought you would have got that, like.
How can you get that? When 57, that's for a youth team game?
No, but I thought you might have just one years. Yeah, but sometimes you can tell a player just by like it might be like just the shape of his legs or like his hands or something.
The fact he's got 2 legs.
Right.
2 legs,
I'm
2
hoping.
2 arms.
I'm hoping all yous get this. I think you should.
Oh, need pressure then. I've
got a name. I don't think it might be him. Could be one or two, but
one of yous will get this. You got it. Paul, you got a name?
I'm not very good at this game. I've just worked it out.
I worked that out a couple of weeks ago. Right.
I know this one, I think.
However, Paul,
I know.
you should get that.
By the point. I think it's what's he called? Is it oh is it Woodgate?
You said Woodgate? Okay.
Yeah.
Alan, who are you going for?
That half decent defender, Jonathan Woodgate.
Len, who are you going for?
Well, I'm not going to copy, am I? Gary Speed.
Hey.
Woodgate.
Well done, lads.
Good,
Well done.
good. Right, next one. This is, I don't know. It's a little bit
Has he
tricky.
got a bracelet on?
I've got one in mind.
I think it's Paul Bracelet.
Okay. Is that your answer, Paul? Never
No,
heard of
it's,
him, but
no, it's not the answer. Hang on.
What is it?
It could be, though,
I'm
couldn't
down-
it?
I wish you just come to me straight away because I'm doubting myself now.
Actually, it could have been him.
I'm thinking it
no,
is,
I
like-
think I know. I think I know who it is.
okay, keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
Right, have we all got a name?
Yeah.
Okay, Len?
Well, I'm going to go for Paul Bracewell.
Bracewell or bracelet?
No, Bracewell. Come on, Rob.
Okay, Alan?
Mark Hottiger.
Could have been like.
Mark.
Paul?
I was gonna say Beresford, but it could be Reaper Hottiger. Like.
Well, I need a name.
I'll say Beresford.
Alan? Congratulations.
Oh, what? Well done, Al.
Yeah, very good.
How did you get
Okay,
that,
next-
Al? I've forgotten he even played for us.
I'm sure I used to have that poster in my bedroom when I was young.
Actually, Rob, that could be a sign because he scored at Blackburn away, didn't he? Remember that goal?
Yes,
Ooh.
aye. Yeah, it was a screamer right in the
Aye,
corner
aye,
on the ground.
Clark laid him off or something. It was a good free kick, I think.
Right in the corner. He couldn't hit it any sweeter.
Yeah, it was
Right,
grand.
okay,
That's
so-
when they were flying, weren't they?
We'll move on to the next one. Right. Okay, here we go. Who is that? Now,
I hated
Now-
that shit.
I'm going to be disappointed if all three of us don't get this. You should get this.
Got
Oh,
very,
you kidding me?
very thin fingers, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So we're thinking a thin-fingered player. If that doesn't
We're
sound
looking
right.
at it then.
Doesn't sound
Um,
right. That's a horrible
What a name.
shirt. That I hated that with the number. It looks
Oh,
like-
no, it is.
Yeah. Okay. Are we all good to go? Yeah. Then you look a bit confused there.
I'm out of it, so don't ask me first because I'm blankety blank, checkbook and pen.
I know it.
Right, we'll start with Alan. Alan, who is that?
Carroll.
Andy Carroll? Interesting. Paul, who's that?
Sean Longstaff.
Oh,
Then,
there you go,
who's
man.
that?
Well, I'm going to blatantly cheat and copy Alan's guess, and I'm certain because Andy Carroll had sort of spindly fingers like that, didn't he? So I'm going Andy Carroll.
Well, what I can't tell you, Len, is you should have went
Yeah.
with Paul.
No way.
Aye.
Oh,
And
nice
that's what
one.
I said. I
Well
said
done.
that all. I didn't see it in the end.
Hey, Rob, it's a good job we're not playing this for money.
Oh, we're not. Oh,
So yeah, I think that just about rounds up the week that was.
so am I the winner
hopefully-
this week? Did you say there, Rob?
I wasn't keeping count.
I would say
I
with
was.
me with Mark. I think the Mark Hottiger was a bit freaking harder than that one, no, Paul. Come on.
No, but I'm on about. Did you get more than me? No, you didn't.
No, it's one each. We didn't get the first one.
I got
last
two.
time.
I got two, Alan. I
I
got
got
two.
two because I got Jonathan Woodgate and now.
Ah, but you said
No,
him after me.
Well, I
you've done
definitely
well.
got
I
the
mean,
wooden. I definitely got the wooden spoon.
you got the wooden spoon last week, Len, as well. And the
Ah,
week
you did,
before,
like,
I
Len.
think.
Oh, so you're keeping notes, are you now?
Must have a kind
No,
of
no, I'm
kitchen
just-
full of
It
spoons.
just seems to be a recurring thing.
Before we can,
It
before
does,
we
like.
go and sign off, can you take the picture down?
No, what? Sorry, Alan?
Take the picture down, Rob.
Because I just
Oh,
want to
yeah.
mention one before we go. Paul's mentioning our one to keep an eye on is that Minty.
Oh, yeah. Did you see that goal he scored?
61st
Scored two,
minute
didn't he?
for Feyenoord and scored
Well,
two.
one of them was a bit.
10-year-old. So I think he's got one to keep an eye on for next season, I think.
Aye, when you see that, I saw one of the goals on social media, and it's an absolute belter. And I think if you've got a player like that, you know, why is he not? I know he's on loan and all this, but why is he not on our bench when we were struggling? You know.
Look, I mean, just quickly getting back to tomorrow night. For me, it's one of those games where in the FA Cup, it's not about the performance. It's just about getting through. That's all that matters. You know, we could play particularly well. It could be a tricky game. I just want to get through, and I'm not bothered how we do it as long as
To
we're
be honest, you would
in that
expect
hat for the draw.
You would
would, yes.
Our performance tomorrow night, because we're all now. This is the season. Only chance of silverware, and it's long overdue.
I think we'll come out the blocks flying. I mean, you'll see a really fast start tomorrow night. I think we'll try and wrap it up early. I think, and then you can bring people like Anderson, like your bench, get them on, give them some minutes.
Get minutes under the belt.
And you can rest players, get Bruno and them took off on 60 if you're 2-3-0 up.
Yeah, I mean, Bruno's been. Go on, Rob.
If we do get beat tomorrow, and I don't think we will, where do you see Eddie Howe's position going forward? I think you touched on it before, then people, because you can't blame injuries now, and I mean,
no. I mean,
Eddie Howe. I still think he is the man for the job at this moment in time, but we've got to beat them. We've got to beat
without
them.
a doubt. And I think when you look going forward, I suppose looking at the way the club's operating now, I guess Eddie Howe's the manager till the end of the season, irrespective of what happens tomorrow night or for the remaining 10 or 11 fixtures. But I think it would make an interesting summer because at the end of the day, we could have a real great run. We could win 7 or 8 of the last 11 games and finish in a European place. Even if we do get beat tomorrow night, and that's the only thing that's going to save us bacon, really. But I do believe all the energy should go into the cup competition for once. We need to really, as we keep saying every year, we need to try and win something.
But generally, though, Len, when we have a bad result, we normally bounce back. We've always done that under Eddie Howe.
Normally,
bounce back the next game.
Yeah, normally, but I don't think we have done recently. I heard somebody on a podcast the other day saying when Dan Burn has a bad game, he always bounces back. And I'm thinking, well, yeah, maybe 6 months ago he did, but he doesn't anymore. The same as Newcastle.
I think we generally do after a really bad performance and a result. We normally do bounce back. We normally do.
I don't know why the bad result the other day, last week, and then we'll go and get beat 4-1 off Arsenal. So we didn't bounce back. That's a bad result, did we?
Well, Bournemouth was, we got a draw, didn't we?
Wasn't a great performance.
No, should have beat them, though, Paul. Should have beat them.
If the season fizzles out, we'll show you what this regime's all about if he gets the bullet. So ultimately, it's up to them, and he's done really well. The fans do love him, but in the day,
to be honest, I think we should
just come in to be successful.
Yeah. I think we should remain. I think it's too early. I know you've brought the subject up, Rob. I think it's too early It's an interesting point, but I think it's too early to start considering the manager's situation because I think
I would stick with him. I would stick with Eddie Howe.
Well, there has been circumstances why we're in this position.
But you're right.
Now we're running out the excuse of injuries and matches now, so that can't be held against them. But early in the season, there was mitigating factors, wasn't it?
Yeah. But like Len says, there'll be questions raised. I'm not necessarily saying sack him or get rid of him.
No, that'll be coming, Alan. Next 2 weeks, you will be.
From where we were when he took over to now, we're still in a brilliant space, But yeah, we've set the bar high last season, and he's trying.
Well, we overachieved, didn't we? That's been the problem. We overachieved last season.
And it hasn't came up. Maybe it's because of the overachievement and the Champions League and stuff like that, and the injuries. Also, FFP's going against her as well because we're very restricted of who we buy. We would want to bring in a higher caliber of player, but that means a higher caliber of price, and we can only work within the parameters we've been given. You know what I mean? So that doesn't help us.
Yeah, but we've got a few things to come in the summer, you know, with the sponsorship deals and Champions League.
That, I know that.
So we
I
should
know
have a
that,
bit
but
of
I'm
money.
got that now. See, we've got to think about
That's what I'm
that.
saying. In the summer, we should be able to spend a bit.
Yeah.
Ideally, we should have maybe invested a bit in January, but like every other club, no one spent.
We didn't have the money.
FFP,
We didn't have the money.
Which FFP needs to be reviewed, to be honest.
I
You know,
agree.
with Everton getting theirs reduced as well. Is this a sign that FFP is outdated?
Well, Alan, it's quite clearly holding us back. We've got the clout in the bank. It's holding us back. Of course it is.
Robert's holding everybody back. There was nobody bought in this January window, hardly.
I mean, that January transfer, that January transfer window, right? Normally, I don't know about you guys, but you'd be watching Sky, like the transfer deadline day. I just thought, I'm not interested. Nothing's happening.
There was absolutely nothing. Was there?
That's not Premier League. That's not, you know.
Yeah, I think we spoke.
To be honest, we should have seen what's been spent the last few windows compared to this one, and I should have it in front of me, to be honest. But like I say,
Thank you, Paul. I can see you now. I can see you.
I was just thinking I'm getting a bit dark. I was going to have to light the candle.
I could see it was a little shadow.
Alan's just going to put 50 pence in the meter.
Alan's put his disco lights on.
Right, lads, I'm going to have to wrap it up. I've got to go and get all that stuff.
We're talking about FFP. Come on.
Alan did the FFP rules with lights in his house. He can't afford to light them.
Sorry. What he didn't tell you, he's got his last on the bike. Haven't you, Alan? You've got a dynamo attached to a bike and your lass is pedaling the bike doing stairs to keep the lighting on.
Aye.
Aye.
I didn't live in Jara.
Yeah, that's that. Anyway, right. Listen, thanks for coming on, lads. Good crack as usual, and we'll do next Sunday.
No, we'll do Wednesday.
Do you want to
review show?
What about Wednesday?
Yes. Okay. We'll pencil it in. I mean, if we get beat, it's going to be a brutal show if we get beat. Like, yeah, we'll do Wednesday. Right. Okay. Everyone, thanks for.
By the way, I didn't get brutal.
You will.
You might do if we get beat tomorrow night.
Look, put it this way, right?
Party banners.
If we get beat tomorrow night, right? You just go on Twitter. Go to meltdown.
Didn't even talk about it, man. We're gonna win. We're gonna go through to the quarters, man. We will. Positivity, boys. Positivity. You can't beat the most positive man than me.
Shut up. Can't get your tea, man. Shut up. Right.
Turn the light off.
Aye. Thanks for watching, everyone. And me and the lads will see you on Wednesday with hopefully we can talk about Newcastle progressing to the next round of the FA Cup. Until then, stay safe, everyone, and we'll see you all later. Ta-ra now. Take care, everyone. Bye.